Thank you for joining me today. My name is David. This is my question and answer videos that I do every single Monday. And I'm answering people's questions from last Monday's video. And if you have any questions today, please go down below. Ask me anything you want. I'll answer them next Monday in the next question and answer video. Like I said, I'm a life coach. I'm helping people, I hope, recover and grow from toxic, abusive relationships of all kinds. Either your family, your childhood, relationships, marriage, stuff like this. And the best way to heal is to understand, to learn what happened. So that's what I'm trying to help people do. So any questions you guys have, please ask, okay? Ask. And I want to welcome new subscribers. Hello, welcome to my channel. Thank you for tuning in. All of you can support what I'm doing. If you think I'm helping you or I could help some other people, please support me by subscribing to my channel or commenting down below. You know, just making this video active by voting up or down. Tell me why. Share this different places. Post this in your different social medias and give it to people who you think it can benefit. I'd really appreciate that. Thank you very, very much. Something I like to do every once in a while is recommend something called Shane's Law Petition. I recommend that you guys follow the link down below that says Shane's Law Petition and sign that petition. Doesn't matter where you are in the world. We need signatures so that we can stop public attacks and public smear campaigns, right? Narcissistic smear campaigns that love to attack people in society. Shane was a victim of this for a very long time. And it was so intrusive and there was no help for Shane. And Shane didn't know where to go, so he took his own life, sadly. And somebody Shane knows started this petition to, you know, make sure that the person they know, Shane, didn't die in vain. I'm asking you guys to please support this petition. We need laws in effect to better society, to make sure society doesn't go down a road of ugliness, that we don't attack people and think that that's okay to do that. So if you could just go down, follow the link, sign the petition, I'd really appreciate you. Thank you very, very much. And tell people about it. Something else I like to do every week is recommend something to you guys. Something that'll help you recover from trauma, recover from abuse. Something that will help with anxiety, depression. Maybe I recommend a channel or an author in their book or some supplements. So this week I'm going to do that, supplements. Again, I recommend a lot, don't I? I hope I haven't recommended this before. I may have. If I have, oh well, you guys need to hear it again. Because if I forgot, you guys forgot or didn't see it. So what I recommend this week is a colon cleanse. For those of you who don't know anything about it or have never done it, I highly, highly recommend this. If you're suffering from CPTSD, depression, okay, anything like this, not a good time in your life, you want to reset, you want to start over, you want to move on and grow and heal and recover and all these things, you want to change your life, this is a great way to start doing it. I have a brand called Dr. Tobias that I recommend to all my clients, and you know what I just figured out? My view is backwards. I'm sorry, so it doesn't really help you to see that. It's backwards. But it is Dr. Tobias. You can find this brand and product on Amazon. And what I recommend is a colon cleanse followed by a probiotic. So the colon cleanse, Dr. Tobias makes a 14-day colon cleanse. You can do it just for a week. The second week may be too much for some people. This is all natural. This will help with weight loss. Right? Ooh, I got a bunch of women's attention right there. Weight loss and emotional improvements. This will help with your emotional life. This helps with depression. Impacted colons causes depression. You guys want to start a new life? Start with a new body. Get rid of that stuff and feel better. It works. I've done it. I recommend this to all my clients. And this is one of the top brands out there. So I recommend a 14-day colon cleanse, and then always take a probiotic, okay? The probiotic for extended digestive tract health. So it'll be good for you, okay? Try it out. Tell me what you guys think if you want. But I have a lot of good, positive feedback from these. It really, really helps, okay? Thank you. So let's get started with the questions. First one is from Anne. And Anne reminds me, can you guys please leave your locations? Tell us where you're at. I know it's hard. If you guys remember, you're not thinking, You're doing something else. And but I appreciate though those of you who do that. You know, when I was going through what you guys are going through, when I was freshly out of an abusive relationship years ago, there was no help. There were no answers. There were no YouTube videos. There were no doctors that knew what the hell was going on. So I felt so alone, so alone. And something that really, really can help all of you is to understand that this is affecting so many people worldwide. And it's not just you. It's not just some type of person, you know. It's not, has nothing to do with money or intelligence. And it just really helps to see that other people are hurting like you. So since there are so many other people out there that are hurting, tell us where you're from. It really helps to tell us your location so we know that it is a worldwide problem. Thank you. So Anne asks or says, my ex has been printing out my texts and showing them to everybody. Everyone now hates me. Is this a common thing to experience in the smear campaign? Well, that is what a smear campaign is. That's, you know, smear campaign is wrong, right? We don't attack people. It has nothing to do with, you know, is it true? Is it not? We don't do this. We don't sit there and say, look, this person's a bad person. We need to tell everybody. We don't do that. We don't do that. That's your experience, and let other people have their own experience and form their own opinions, okay? What your perception is isn't correct, isn't right. And I know we all think that our perception and our experiences are perfectly right and our memory is so perfect, and no, it's not. We just don't do that. It's ugly. We don't do that. And people make mistakes in life, and we allow people to make mistakes, just like we allow ourselves to make mistakes. Because if you're condemning every single person for their mistakes, then you're obviously not accepting yourself for making mistakes. And that's dangerous, okay? So, a smear campaign, what it's for, why people do this? Typically, it's antisocial, it's sociopathic. And I know borderlines do it, narcissists do it, but it's antisocial behavior. Very. If I don't care if a borderline's doing it, then they also have antisocial traits. Because that's so against the grain of society to attack members of it. It's just horrible, okay? And we don't judge. We don't point fingers and all that. It's all opinionated. So the person who smear campaigns another person, a victim, typically, they can't control that victim anymore, or they can't control them at all. They wanted to and they can't. And so they try to control the people around them. So you're not dating anymore. You're not friends anymore. You're not business partners anymore. Something like that typically. And they want to control you. And it could be because they want you to hurt. They want you to kill yourself. Just like Shane's Law. They wanted him to kill himself, and he did. That's a very sociopathic thing that they want. Trust me. That's textbook. Sociopaths, they interact with you and they didn't get what they want from you and they feel cheated. They feel lied to. They feel tricked, fooled, and they want to take you out. They want you to kill yourself, and they want to be be the one that did it. They want to be the one that made you kill yourself. So I know this sounds extreme, but that's what's going on. Somebody can't control their victim anymore. They can't make the victim do what they want. They're not living with them. The victim is trying to stay away from them. They're not talking to them anymore, typically is what happened. So they start still trying to control you. Even though they can't, they start controlling people around you. They convince your family of this. They convince your friends of that. They convince your business associates not to, work with you anymore, stuff like this. So they'll do it with, they'll show text and they will twist it around and say, look, or they'll videotape you at your worst moment and show people. I mean, it's just sick, isn't it? So that is what a smear campaign is. And I'm sorry you're going through it, Ann. I really am. It's horrible. I've experienced smear campaigns for years. Everyone now hates me. Okay. Anybody who's full of hate, they hate themselves, period. They hate people, they hate themselves. Because they're judging people, they judge themselves. People can't make mistakes, they can't make mistakes. How people feel about other people is how they really feel about themselves. Okay? I have enemies, but I don't hate people. I have enemies because of the way they treat me. But I don't hate them. I don't even hate my enemies. Try not to. But let me tell you, the people that hate you, you don't want them in your life anyways. Okay? They're judging you, they hate themselves, stuff like that. Especially if they were your friends. I always love somebody that says they're attacking someone they know. They're so bad. We used to be friends. Like the person that smears me for 2 years claims that we were friends, and that makes it all okay. It's like, well, if they were your friend, why are you treating them like this? Oh, they're a bad person. What does that make you? It's all bad. It's all bad. You cannot rationally attack somebody else. You can't. You can try to rationalize it, but there is no rationality to it, to attack another person. There's something wrong with the attacker. Always. Even if you attack back, there's something wrong with you. Fix it. I hope I'm making some sense, helping you understand that this behavior is wrong. I don't care what you said in your text messages to this person. They shouldn't be sharing it to other people. There's something wrong with them. If they feel so emotionally hurt, betrayed, whatever, go get help. That's your emotions that you need to deal with. I hope that makes sense. Hope you understand that. Thank you. Nessa. Nessa asks, is empathy love? And I'd have to say no. Love is an emotion, but I think it's also much more than an emotion. It's hard to define love. I have before. I think it's an emotion, and I think it requires action. Empathy is different. Empathy, you can know what someone feels or how they feel, but you don't have to care about them. That's more sympathetic. I'm sympathetic. I understand this person, and you know, I'm going to cry with them. There's different forms of empathy, yes, but empathy is different than love. I'd have to say it is not love. Hope that makes sense. Ask me more, Nessa. Thank you. Next question is from Janet from Philadelphia. Hello, Janet. I feel that I lost a part of myself after I went out with my toxic narc sociopath. I'm trying to make new memories, but my trust level is at 2%. I want my goodness back. Good. Good. I'm glad you want that back, and I'm glad somebody hasn't hurt you so much that you don't want goodness back, that you think that the world is so bad, who cares about me and how good I am. So, you lost a part of yourself, and if you don't know why, Janet, or what that means, or why you feel this way, I just wanted to throw this out there to help you understand, because we need to understand. First of all, I would ask Janet, who are you, right? And then I'd want to know more specifically, what are the things that you value? One words, things you value, morals. And you would tell me, I think, Janet, I think you would tell me things like honesty and loyalty and integrity, that these are valuable things to you. Matter of fact, this is who you are. Like if I make the statement, I am honest. I'm telling you who I am. I better be honest. I better, because if I tell you I'm honest and I lie, who am I? Who am I? Real simple, Janet. If you believe abuse is wrong, how does it feel if you were to abuse someone else? Wouldn't that feel horrible? You'd feel like, who am I? I lost myself, right? The same applies to how people treat you, or people that we have in our life, that we form relationships with, or that we marry, or that we live with, or have children with. If I marry someone who lies, I'm compromising myself, because honesty is who I am. I am honest, yet my husband lies. So I have to move my principles out of the way for my husband every day. Every time he lies, I got to move the principles. Unless I leave him, unless I tell him, that's not okay, don't you ever lie again. And he tells me, I understand that's wrong, and I value honesty too. I'll never lie again, I promise. You know, unless that happens, you are compromising yourself. You have to move your principles out of the way. And once you move those principles out of the way, they aren't principle anymore. Who are you? I am honest, yet I allow lying. And it's the same thing as if I lie to someone else. if I allow people to lie to me. And I don't care what excuse your husband has. I'm just using a husband as an example. So I hope that makes some sense, Janet. Find out what you really value and start showing that in your choices. It took you a while to do that because every time you made a choice, you had to compromise who you are. And eventually, maybe 2 weeks later, a month later, he lies again. And you had to move him out of the way again. So that takes some time, doesn't it? Weeks, months, years to really lose ourselves. And therefore, it takes some time to get yourself back. So choices are opportunities to show who Janet is. So when you start making choices, you better show what you value, your morals. I value honesty. I believe you're lying to me. I'm not going to stand for that. Okay? I'm not going to allow that anymore. I can't have you in my life because you lie. That's why you feel like you lost a part of yourself. I bet you lost your principles. I bet you compromised those. And it feels horrible, doesn't it? You believe your trust level is at 2%. It's not you trusting other people, Janet. It's you trusting yourself and your judgment and how you handle people and how you communicate your boundaries to them. Because if Janet is honest, Janet will not lie, and Janet will not allow people to lie to her. Hope that makes sense. Thanks, Janet. Next question, Darnell from Illinois. Hello, Darnell. Is neglect and abandonment the same thing? And I think you said this is a stupid question. There is no such thing as a stupid question. Never. There are no stupid questions. There can be stupid answers. There's no stupid questions. Okay. Is neglect and abandonment the same thing? Technically, no. But I think that abandonment is neglectful. I think that, neglecting your children is abandoning them. I think not teaching your children, but it's almost like on a conscious level, right? If I neglect my children, I could be doing that because my parents neglected me, and I'm just teaching my children the best way I know how, as of now. I'm neglecting them, but I'm not aware of it. So I believe not teaching your children how to navigate in their emotional life is extremely neglectful. And if you know how and you're not teaching them, I think that's abandonment. If that makes sense. I think abandonment is more conscious. Where neglect, most parents don't know or understand they're neglecting their children. Most. I hope that makes sense. Neglect, and start looking at emotional neglect, Darnell. Physical is always more apparent. It's there in front of you, right? Physical abuse, I get hit, I'm watching someone hit me, and I have bruises, right? Sexual abuse, we got to take our clothes off and they're touching me in weird places and feels weird, real obvious, right? Real black and white. Whereas emotional, real difficult. We've got emotional needs. And you can't see emotional abuse, and you can't see emotional neglect typically, for the most part. We don't know what we don't get. We have nothing to compare it to, contrast. I hope that makes sense. Hope I'm not confusing you more. Thanks, Darnell. Keep asking questions. And again, can workaholism be a sign of abuse or trauma? And I think you mean, I would say being a workaholic is a symptom of earlier trauma, abuse, or you're going through it currently. Totally. And workaholic, it's all of it. It's all addictions, right? We're saying workaholic as an addiction. And so it's a coping mechanism. And it's one of the most top ones. People work too much. And I don't care who loves their job so much. Okay, anybody that's working, 80, 90 to 100 hours a week and has family, it's not just you love your job. There's something wrong with your emotional world. There's a specific part of our brain that controls work. And there's a totally different, way over here, specific part of your brain that controls your emotional life, your relationships. And these are so separate that when we're in one, we don't usually typically care about the other. In other words, you have a fight with your husband or wife at night and you go to work the next day, even if that fight's unresolved, right? You guys fought and went to bed, never resolved it, woke up in the morning, went to work. It dampers down. The emotions go down a little bit. Your mind's taken off of it a little bit. It's still there, but it's like on pause almost. It's like on hold. We'll resume fighting when I get home. Or, you know what I mean? So you get off work and then you dread going home. Oh God, I got to deal with this again. So some people just don't go home. Some people work all the time. And if you have, I'm sorry, but if you have a wife and children at home and you choose to work, there's something wrong. There's something wrong. Because all human beings need the people at home more than you need a job. It's just more important to human beings. So if I can't deal with my emotional part of my life, I stay at work. It's a coping mechanism, just like drugs, alcohol, sex, food, just like abusing anything. It's a coping tool. You know, we too often try to treat symptoms, and that's what it is. People that work too much, it's just like someone who's an alcoholic, and we just sit there and focus on the action of drinking. There's a reason they're drinking. You can take away the alcohol, but you're not fixing the problem. So I always know that. Every time I see someone work too much, I'm like, oh, your life sucks. Your life sucks. Something's unmanageable or depressing or something about their emotional life. So if they stay at work, that's turned off. But it doesn't work. Just like a car. You need all these different parts to work well together. And when one part isn't working well, the whole car isn't working well. It'll still get you to work maybe for a couple months, and then eventually die. And that's what's going to happen to the workaholic. They can ignore the emotional part of their life for so long, you know, until it's just ruined, until their wife leaves them, until the husband goes and cheats on the wife instead of fixing her problems. I mean, there's all kinds of different ways that can happen, but hope that makes sense. I'm going to stop part 1 there, guys, and I'll finish part 2 after this. Thank you very much. If you guys can, please help me. Subscribe to my channel, please. I see a lot of people asking me questions sometimes every week, and they're not even subscribed to my channel. So please subscribe. Helps me out so much. And you can vote, yes or no. You can comment, things like that. And you guys can leave me lots of comments, lots of thank you. I really appreciate your support. You're not only just making me feel good and keeping me going, but you're really supporting the growth of my channel and the work. So I appreciate you. Thanks, guys. Love yourself first. I'll see you in part 2.